Hi everyone, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation, your evolutionary astrologer. How are you? And happy 2021. Woohoo! We have completed and finished 2020. And I know if you are watching this, you are so excited to usher in this new energy and this new year with the rest of the world. 2020 was so painful and it was so brutal. I don't want to belabor the point. I hope so much you watched my 2020 transits entire playlist, and if not, I would really like for you to go do so. And I say this because the past is as important as understanding the future, because the past can put things in context like the future can't. And we can know some things about the future, and I'm going to go into that today. But when we take inventory in our own lives around the past and the past dates, and we look at the hardships in our life and the crises, and we look at the transits, the correlating transits, we can actually do the math. And it helps us brace for the future because it helps us understand energy and transits. So I really do recommend that you go binge watch my whole entire 2020 playlist. Do it with your calendar and look at what was happening in your life on those days. There's one video that I did where I talked about the most influential or the hardest and the best days of 2020. And it would be really cool for you to go look at what showed up for you on those days. I know for me that my predictions were uncanny and they were accurate, and I didn't even like it because they were very painful. I had some really painful days in 2020, like I'm sure you did too. I also had some really big blessings. So today, what we're going to talk about, what I thought would be interesting, was giving you the very best 3 days in January to look forward to, and the hardest in the month of January 2021. It almost didn't roll off my tongue, so you can prepare for them. And I want to tell you a little bit about my findings too. I started to do the January transits and I got really overwhelmed. And I want to be really honest with you, like I always am. But finding 3 good days in January was really pretty tricky. So what I want to tell you is that January is kind of about being self-made. And it is Capricorn's self-made energy. Capricorns don't usually get handed a bill of goods. They usually are the self-made man or the self-made woman. Now, here's what I want to tell you, and I don't want to burst anybody's bubble because I am so excited, and I think we have a right to be excited about 2021. I know really good things are going to happen, but I also know that it's really a volatile and mixed bag too. It doesn't have the living hell in it that 2020 had, but it does have challenges. It does have volatility. It has some radical, massive change. And we're going to see our relationship to money and technology really advance and change. We're going to see our relationship to humanity change. We're going to see governments collapse, more of an egalitarian society emerge. And we are going to see in an overall way that there's this massive humanitarian reform for the earth and for equality for all people. And that's cool, isn't it? And we need to celebrate that. So this is what I want you to do. If you are a follower of mine, I want you to take this video in 2 parts. And I want you to take in the energy of the new year in 2 parts. First, there is, what are we dealing with right now? Like this, right? Like what is staring at us like this in the month of January? And what this is not what the total story is. So I want you to know this is an emergence, an emergence. And if English isn't your first language, you can always leave a comment in the notes and tell me if you don't understand why I chose a certain word, and I'll write back to you and let you know, because I choose my words very selectively. But this is like something that is coming up from a seed and growing into a tree. And that doesn't happen overnight. So the January energy, to be really honest with you, is challenging and it is difficult. And I struggled finding 3 good days. Saying that, I don't want you to be depressed. It's just that life does not synchronize up with January 1st. It really doesn't. The first of the year is truthfully the spring equinox. It's when 0 degrees Aries starts. And that is in late March. And that is truly the beginning of the year. That's the beginning of the year in the Farmer's Almanac for the farmers. Back in the olden days, we started the planting season with the spring equinox. And so this January 1st thing is a calendar that we made up. I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to hold that hope in your heart, but I also don't want you to be Pollyanna. And I also don't want you to get crushed by January's energy. January is really a tough month. It's a hard month, but there are some blessings in it. What I believe is 2021 is going to elevate us. It's going to launch us. It's going to create a new relationship to all those things that I mentioned, to our earth, to our fellow humans that look differently than us. It's going to embrace diversity. It's going to be highly intellectual. We're going to have deep and decent and smart conversations again. We're going to stop talking about dumb things. Aquarius energy is brilliant. And so our whole conversation is going to level up. You'll see. It's just not going to happen on January 1st or January 14th. January is going to be the changing of the guards month. And whenever we're changing the guards, there's panic, there's uneasiness, there's challenge, there's discomfort, there is sadness. Some people are sad saying goodbye to the old guard. There is fear and there's volatility. And so we are on a roller coaster in the month of January. And here's the thing. I know you probably hate me. I know you probably are so upset because you just want me to tell you that, oh my God, it's going to be so great. It will. It's just not in January. January has a few blessings, and I want to give you those golden nuggets because I want you to make something magical with them. And if you don't manifest on this new moon, oh, I'm going to be so disappointed. So you've got to manifest on the new moon in January. And I sold out of my new moon bundles for Capricorn, but you can also go to soulnavigation.com, click the shop tab, and just go buy your moon signs new moon bundle and use that stone, that crystal or that stone to manifest on this new moon and on every new moon. You can also buy the whole package of 12, but we did sell out of Capricorn. So just buy your own moon signs new moon bundle and use that to manifest something phenomenal. Okay, so the first hardest day of January, I think, is January 13th. The days prior to that are also kind of auspicious and difficult, but I want to talk about the hardest days. And I think January 13th is really quite complicated. Mars is squaring Saturn. Look at Mars at 3 degrees Taurus. And it sits right next to Uranus, the lightning bolt, and it is in square to Saturn. With this Taurus Aquarius energy, it's very, very fixed. But this transit brings like frustration to the table. It's like there's so much brewing frustration that it's like percolating or bubbling. And the desires here, what you wish for, don't want something too badly, okay? I want to tell you right now, the way that you combat this is you be a really cool cat and you kind of surrender, but you're going to have a hard time with like suppressing your passion, suppressing your truth, suppressing your anger, your frustrations, and you won't succeed if they just pop out of you. So it's almost like the harder you try, the more resistance you will receive. And so authority figures and superiors and the patriarchy, and in the world, you'll see that the men in power, if you will, or other dominant forces in government are going to try to restrict people, and you're going to feel that you're being restricted, and you're going to feel like you can't get what you want. So Mars square Saturn, it's like there's too many rules and regulations trying to stifle me. It's like this transit makes it really hard to win. It makes it really hard to get your way. You're playing defense, and you have to hunt and peck and brutally work towards getting your way. I think that it's just better kind of surrendering, counting your blessings, looking at the things that you do have. January 13th is not a day to try to get your way. It's like, don't take risks on this day. You could explode with your anger. You could have an explosive temper tantrum, and you might see out there in the world people not getting their way, getting so volatile and angry and plotting against others. And I just want to say, be very patient with yourself and with life, and be cautious with your words. Be more gentle, be kind, be willing to receive constructive criticism. I don't want you to take risks on this day. I really don't. Let's say you get pulled over, or let's say you get into a conflict with a superior. This is the day to bite your tongue and find your grace. Do not fight the fight on this day. If you are bullied in the playground, this is the day where you walk away. This is a day when you can really make your problems worse. This is a day when you can really self-sabotage or hurt yourself or harm yourself. I want you kind of to fortify yourself with grace and with compassion and with empathy, and you walk away with your dignity. And don't play in the sandbox with your enemies on this day. This is a day where you're very likely not going to get your way. And I want you to prepare for that. And I don't want you to come into the ring with your gloves on. Just let it go. Let it go. Try to create peace. Do you say be peaceful? Yeah, you say be peaceful. She's so cute. Okay, on January 13th and the 14th in most of the world, the sun is conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, and I think this is a really hard day. I think we might see a lot of deaths on this day, and it makes me sad to even say that, but you know, there's a great deal of paranoia on this day. When Pluto and the sun meet up, it's almost like you can feel like the whole world is against you. You can feel like people are ganging up against you, bullying you, or they're plotting against you. This is a very tough time because you're going to see the dark side of the soul. And you might see the dark side of the soul out there in the world, but you could see death and transformation, the rebirth, the phoenix rising, or you could just see the death part and not yet the phoenix rising. And that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, where it's like we are going to see the glory in 2021, but it's not before we see some further hard things. And January brings in sort of this dark and sinister side of the underbelly of life. And on January 13th, but 14th as well, we're going to see this sun conjunct Pluto. We're going to see like maybe even criminal activity. I don't know, something grotesque or horrible. We might receive word that our loved ones are not who we thought they were. We might see our own addictions or other addictions or death from addictions or just death, because there's a compulsion to this aspect, sun conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. And so right now you're supposed to make repairs. You're supposed to fix things. You're supposed to fix your home, fix your body, fix your mind, fix your life, fix yourself, right? And so in order to fix it, you have to see what's wrong with it. And so this is very draining, this aspect. It's very deep and it's very intense. You might find the truth about something that's very, very painful to actually see. This is a really hard time. This is like swallowing a stick of dynamite. I know, I hate to be depressing. I'm going to get to the good days though, so stick with me through this whole entire video and I'll get to those days. But I want you to be prepared and I want you to truly understand the energy that we're working with so you don't get so deflated or so discouraged. Now, you know, if you watched my live video, I hope that you did. If not, go back and watch my live video about the new moon going through the houses, the new moon in Capricorn on the 12th of January Pacific time at 9 p.m., 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time in the US, and of course on the 13th in the rest of the world. But you already know that I talked a lot about that new moon. What I want to tell you is when we get to 13th and the 14th with Pluto conjunct the sun, Pluto is the bowels, it's the garbage, it's the dark side of your soul. It is the plumbing and the sewage system. And so it's gross. It's death. It's literally the part when you die and your body decomposes to the point where all your fluids run out. That's Pluto. But it also is a big part of life. This transit can really allow you the courage to go into the darker parts of your soul and of your life and take inventory and sew them up and create a new way of being, a way of being that you prefer. So I don't want you to get stuck in the addiction and in the grotesque energy and in the violence and in the psychological sadness, the trauma, the depression. I want you to be the phoenix that rises out of that muck and murk. And I also want to tell you that you should really consider getting a reading with somebody from Team Soul Navigation if you haven't already. The readers on my team are so beautiful, so lovely. We're truly like a family. I love each and every one of them. If you haven't had a pendulum reading from Kira or an angelic Reiki session with her, oh my gosh, treat yourself. If you haven't had a healing session with Susie, she'll have you laugh and cry at the same minute. And a reading with Linda, she'll help you peel all the layers of your chart back and look inside and show you your soul's code, your soul's blueprint. Who are you born to be? She'll help you with love and relationships. Her astrology readings are amazing. She's also an animal communicator. Stacy will open up your soul and take you into the deepest parts of yourself and help you communicate with crossed over loved ones. Connie Jo will blow your freaking mind with her clairvoyance. She is so psychic, it's scary. She'll give you chills. She'll read your chart inside and out. Henny will take you to places that you never even knew existed. He will help you fall so madly, passionately in love with the things that are so beautiful inside of you that you never even knew of. I mean, they are just so profound and so beautiful and so loving. You deserve a reading with one of them. So go to soulnavigation.com and click on book a reading and just pick one of my absolutely beautiful teammates. You can also choose me if you want. It's just that you probably have to wait a month or 6 weeks to get on my schedule. And they are a little bit less expensive and they are easier to schedule with. So treat yourself and peel away your chart and your soul's calling and the truth about your life. Especially in January, because that's when it's going to be very pivotal, and we have all this hope and optimism, and then the energy is a little bit darker. And so it's not until after the spring equinox in March when we really see massive change. Okay, my friends, we have to talk about the next difficult aspect. And forgive me for this, but January is really, really a tough month. On January 20th, Mars is conjunct Uranus, but not only is it conjunct Uranus, it's also conjunct the moon. So we have the moon and Uranus and Mars all in Taurus, and it's all square to Saturn. I mean, January 20th is one of the hardest days of the entire year. And it is going to be filled with massive tension and massive extraordinary change with Mars conjunct Uranus. Let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, this is what is so fascinating for me. This is going to be a day where change is not easy for people, where change will be fought, where changes will not be necessarily easy to have. When you have Mars conjunct Uranus, this is a time where there's great massive breakthroughs, but it comes at a cost when it's square to Saturn. And it's a little bit wider, but it's also square to the sun. So the identity of that day is in radical, massive conflict. I'm just going to tell you right now, I pray to God they have good security, because this is a day of recklessness. This is a day of accidents. This is like in your personal life, I want you to hunker down. I don't even know what day January 20th is. Let me look it up. But please don't go do anything crazy. I don't even care if you live in the States or not. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's a Wednesday. I want you to wear your seatbelt, wear your helmet, wear your gear, whatever. This is a highly reckless day. One thing I will tell you is there's a couple good things about this day, and that is Jupiter. I kind of like Jupiter there with Saturn, and I like Jupiter close to the sun. And so there is something innovative and futuristic and leveling up and advancing our world. And I like that Mercury is in a harmonious trine with the nodal axis. And so there are some silver linings and some blessings, but I'm just going to pray for the health and the wellness of all people on that day. It's a very reckless day. I pray to God that there isn't massive tragedy on that day. And please pray with me. I just want people to be happy, peaceful, loving, and safe. And that's a really, really, really hard day. That's one of the hardest days of the year. And I think it's because it's a changing of the guards. That change is being a little bit resisted. Ultimately, I do believe we are better for this change. I do. I believe that we are better for this change. It is going to level us up, and it is through hardship that we find our best selves. And January 20th brings in tough, tough stuff. I want to tell you a secret. If you're born on April 25th-ish or January 25th-ish or October 25th-ish or July 25th-ish, this is a tough time for you. And you'll get through it and you'll be fine. So 24, 25, 26, something like that, if you're born on one of those days, you'll get through it. But Spirit Universe is asking you to grow, and asking you to grow faster than you want to. So they're putting you in the advanced course of life. They're putting you on the bullet train, the fast track, and you are being asked to lead the charge. So embrace it. You're a warrior. And I don't want you to take one risk on the 20th. I don't want you to have an interview with your boss. I don't want you to go in for surgery. I don't want you to get married on that day. Can you just read a book and eat bonbons and spaghetti carbonara sauce, spaghetti with really yummy, fattening, buttery noodles, and just do creature comforts, right? And watch a good movie and pet your cat, like my cat's on my lap. She's so cute, right? That's a day for you to like be very peaceful. Watch the inauguration if you want from the comfort of your own home. Don't go out. I just want you to hunker down and love thyself. That's the whole point of these transits. The whole point of these transits is to help you know what the energy holds in that day, and don't do anything massive or crazy or radical. Don't get married or divorced on this day, right? Just make it a be nothing day, because the day is already going to have so much enormous power in it that I want it to serve you. Okay, let's keep going. Also, I want to tell you something that could really help you. You should buy the 1 year annual forecast report. It's on my website, soulnavigation.com. Just click the shop and get your 1 year horoscope. It's custom made for your chart. And that way you have all the transits laid out and how they will affect you personally for the whole year. And it costs almost nothing. And it's one of the best reports on the market. I didn't write the transits, I didn't write the report, but I researched high and low for the very, very best forecasting reports. And this gives you your horoscope, not from like, if you're in Aries, this is what's going to happen to Aries. No, it takes your entire chart. It analyzes every aspect, your Mercury, your Mars, your rising sign. And then it writes your horoscope on a daily basis for a whole year. Just go to soulnavigation.com and click on the shop tab. And then you can go find my astrology reports. I also think, honestly, you should get your solar return report. And the solar return report is so cool and so good because it tells you what this year is all about for you. And it's like 70 pages long around what this year is going to hold in store for you and the major themes in your life for the whole year. It's different than a forecast. It doesn't do it daily. It just shows you what your relationship to money is going to be, what your relationship to health is going to be. And the solar return report is so accurate. It's scary. It's like, it is so good. I don't talk about those two reports very much, but they're really, really powerful. Okay, I said I was going to do the 3 hardest days and then the 3 best days, but I have to tell you that there are so many hard days in January. Almost every day is hard, that it was hard for me to pick the hardest days. And I wanted to just tell you that I have a 4th hardest day because I couldn't pick which one. And this is Sun squaring Uranus on January 26th. So it's on January 25th, and in much of the world, because it's so late at night, it's Eastern time, it's January 26th. So it's January 25th and January 26th. But you can see that the Sun squares Uranus, and it also squares Mars. So this is radical change in your personal life. And wherever you have this in your chart, this is where you're going to see massive upheaval and massive change. And you're going to see unpredictability and unexpected outbursts and unexpected events happening from other people to you in your world. And this is not the time to take chances, risks, experiments, or, try, brand new things. The Sun is in negative aspect to Uranus, so you're playing with lightning, literally. This is you walking out into a thunderstorm with an umbrella. Like, not good. Like swimming in the pool during a thunderstorm. Would you do that? No, I don't think so. This is a time when your car, any electronics, your phone can break, your car can break down. You can get stuck or trapped on a mountain. Like, bring chains if you're going to drive on this day up a snowy path. But this is a time for deep malfunctions and breakdowns. And this is a time where you could really be pulled into 2 different directions, and you could become shattered in some way. So this is a kind of an angry day, a day when we will see outbursts and outrage. and your ego is super strong. And again, grace and love and harmony win at the end of the day. So I don't want you to have a face off. I don't want you to get into an argument. I want you to, my kitty cat, she's so cute. She's right over the camera. So she's looking at me in the eyes, making eye contact with me. She's so stinking cute. And she's rubbing her head on the camera. So she's going to knock me down here in a minute. No, 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 no. She loves all you guys. No, 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 no. She's getting into trouble. She's getting into so much trouble behind the camera. Rubbing her face on the lamp and it's going to come crashing down on my forehead. Talking about this aspect, right? Sun square Uranus. She's being naughty, naughty. Anyways, she's looking at me like, are you crazy, Mom? Her head is literally right here above the camera. It's crazy. She's my audience of one. This aspect is really tough. January 25th, 26th. And it's a time when you might feel like experimenting, but experiment with like color or design in your kitchen, right? Or your clothes or your hair. But don't experiment, I should say, with big giant important aspects in your life. This is not a day to take risks, and it's like the world is egging you on that day. Okay, so let's move into the happier aspects. I know there are a couple of them. So the first best day, are you guys ready, is January 9th, and this is Venus trines Mars. So January 9th is going to bring good news between men and women, and I also like the moon on the south node. I really do. I feel like this is a day of comfort, and that moon works well with Saturn and Mercury and Jupiter, and it looks beautiful. But with Mars like creeping up on Uranus, that's a little uncomfortable. And then there it is, just Mars at 1 degrees Taurus with Capricorn, with Venus at 1 degrees Capricorn. And so this is like a really interesting time. And it's a time when women and men will work together or feel empowered. And it's a time where you can have a great sexual desire for a partner. It's a time when love can find you, and there's beauty and sexuality and charisma and happiness, and it's a great time to start a new project, a new creative project that you're really passionate about. It's a time when passion will bubble over. It's a time when you will feel passionate about your life. You'll want to go to a party. You'll want to socialize. You'll want to be with the opposite sex. And it's a time where you can really take some action around your values. And it's also a time when you could really step into doing activities that manifest money. This is one of the better aspects of January, but there are also hard aspects on this day. So if it doesn't turn out perfectly that day, am I going to be shocked? No. If something really hard happens on this day, will I be shell shocked? No. It's not a day of just pure goodness, but there are some really succulent, yummy, juicy fruit, like a juicy peach on a hot summer day in Augusta, Georgia. It's like yum. So there are some yummy aspects to this day. So let's keep going forward. The next best day, I think, is January 28th. That's the day, let's look at it, of the full moon. Now, this full moon is Sun in Aquarius opposing the moon in Leo, and I think that's a very hard combination. But I like that Jupiter is on the Sun, and I think it counterbalances. I also like getting liberated in this Aquarius energy. We are going to see so much hope and so much positivity and so much innovation. We are going to feel like, oh my God, we have arrived into the future. We're going to feel like we are in a smarter place, a safer place, a better place. We're going to feel like all people matter. We're going to feel like we've been born again. It's almost like this revolution has already started and we're seeing the effects of it. There's optimism, there's happiness, there's like good luck and we've arrived. There's abundance and opportunities. Our technology, our humanitarianism has advanced massively. We will benefit from this and it's weird to say this because I don't really like full moons, but we will benefit in some way, shape, or form on this day, on the 28th, which is a full moon. It's almost like we're celebrating the ending. So we're celebrating the losses, like it's over. And we now know, look how close we are to the spring equinox now, just about a month away, less than a month away. We can literally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so when you look up at that glorious full moon in Leo, I just want you to count your blessings. And I do want you to work with that particular full moon because there's a lot of joy on that ending day. I know it's a death day, but it's like a happy death day. I don't know how to explain it. But now things are starting to turn out positively and we are seeing this hopefulness. So I would love for you to get the Leo new moon bundle and work with it on this new moon, because this new moon, while it's an ending, it's a goodbye, there's a loss. It's weird because it ushers in this giant new beginning. And it's almost a better, and I never say this ever, but it's almost a better full moon than the January new moon. I don't want to completely commit to that, but there is some blessing in this. That's why I put it as one of the best days. Okay, so I got to talk to you about this next day. And this next day, we're going to go backwards a little bit, so forgive me for that. But this is about January 23rd. I want to show you this day on January 23rd. Now, this is a little bit of a weird thing for me to say, okay? First of all, you can see that the sun is conjunct Saturn. And anytime I would tell you that a sun conjunct Saturn day is like, woohoo, one of the happiest days of the month, you'll think I lost my freaking mind. But it's kind of true. And this is like a high reward day. This is like a big payout day. This is a day on January 23rd where discipline pays. And so if you've been doing your dieting or your exercising or lifting your weights, metaphorically, if you've been doing your good hard work, you get karmic payout on this day. Now, this day is volatile and it's hard too, because you can see that the sun and Saturn are they're in a tight square to Uranus and Mars. So it's not just a good freebie day, but there are good aspects to this day that I really like. And I also really love this glorious moon on the North Node. This is a day when you can take the emotional high road, where you can be emotionally your best self. This is a day where you can have deep intellectual knowledge about your feelings. And this is a day when you can really step into a higher version of your emotional self, where you can manage your emotions, you can navigate your emotions, and you can make your emotional being really work for you and benefit you in some way. Your heart will benefit you in some way. Having objective compassion is the key to this day with that Gemini moon on the North Node. I want to tell you that the Sun-Saturn combination, that's not like a fun aspect, but it is one of the better days because it's like payout, right? It's the day you get promoted. It's a day that you're seen in your responsibility. It's a day where you have your due diligence. It's a day where you get karmic reward. It's a day where your hard work freaking pays off. It's a day when you step on the scale and you see that it dropped 2 pounds. It's a day when you see your advancement. It's a day when you see the hard work that you did to study for the exam got you an A. The hard work that you did to get the job interview won you the job. So this is a day that has a potential for your highest self. Now, what's hard about this day though, again, and there is kind of this like arrow in the heart, and that is that darn Uranus Mars, and it's going to stay there for a little while. And so every one of these days in January has like this undertow to it. It has this like current underneath. So I want you to be prepared and I want you to know about it. I want you to know about these good days and bad days so you can see the magic in the day and focus on the good. The other thing that I want to show you on this day, which is really beautiful, is Venus is sitting in a sextile to Neptune. And Venus in a sextile to Neptune is the highest octave of love that you can possibly find in the chart. I mean, it is glorious love. It is God's love. It is angelic love. And so you might find that there is angelic love for you on this day. You might find, I don't know how to say this, but it's like sometimes a stranger who says the sweetest thing to you can mean, I don't know, can have such impact and change in your life rather than your own mom or your sister or your brother or your boyfriend or your husband. And that's because the stranger didn't have to say anything. And those moments can be really magical. So there might be serendipity in this day. There might be this like love, this human, unexpected love that feels angelic and beautiful and healing and gorgeous. And you might have a spiritual breakthrough on this day. You might have a spiritual awakening on this day. And that is so exciting. So I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to be prepared for some hard stuff. It's like going water skiing, right? Water skiing is super fun, but it's not easy. Wouldn't you agree with me? It's not easy. It's not simple. Imagine the very first time you ever learned how to water ski. It was scary. You probably got into the water with trepidation. The water was probably colder than you wanted it to be. The skis were hard to put on. They were hard to navigate. It was hard to pull your own body up. Your forearms were sore like they've never been before. God, you could barely walk after you were done. The water turned into glass. You don't dare fall, right? You probably got water up your nose and you got back into the boat and you were like, that was exhilarating. Let's do it again. That's the month of January for you. Leave me a comment. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your life is. Let me know your sun sign. And if you didn't watch my live where I just talked about the new moon in Capricorn and what do you have at 23 degrees Capricorn, I really recommend that you watch that live. It was really good, and I talked to you about where Capricorn falls in your chart for this new moon. This new moon is really powerful that you manifest on it. You manifest your hopes and your dreams and your wishes and the things that you want. And I really recommend that you buy either an Aura Quartz crystal necklace. I think we've sold out of the Miracle necklace, but you can buy the True Love necklace or the Prosperity Lucky Charm necklace. You can buy the Miracle necklace, maybe. You can buy the Crossed Over Loved Ones, Your Guardian Angel necklace. It's purple. It's absolutely beautiful. Or the Peace necklace to remove anxiety. And you can work with those necklaces. You can work with those crystals and charge them up in the moonlight. They also charge in the sunlight, and you can manifest with them. So use your tools to really bring in your higher octave of intelligence, emotional intelligence, energy, wellness, health, fitness, and self-worth and self-confidence. And use crystals, use the power of your mind, the power of your heart to create this massive change. The year is going to get better. It's just that January, we're not out of the woods yet, but I don't want you to be discouraged. I hope so much that you liked this video, that you got something out of it. I really recommend that you put those dates in your calendar on your phone so you can prepare. I like to put them in a day early so I know what's coming up. And I just want you to know I absolutely love having you here. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please share my videos. Please help me get to 40,000 subscribers. And I hope so much that you are a super supporter. If you aren't, please consider joining. It's only 25 cents a day and you get so many perks. Go check it out in the notes section. From my house to yours, I wish you the very best.